Yeah, Sam was unable to practice today.
Okay. And how's Isaac doing?
He's doing okay. He's rehabbing, working at it. He's doing okay.
And looking ahead to this road trip, what are you hoping you see from your team? Just because it's been a little bit up and down. You guys are finally starting to get healthy, and it's a long trip. It's a long time on the road. What are you hoping to see?
I think it's good for us, to be honest with you. There's always something about these trips that gives teams an opportunity to bond with one another. You go on a long trip and you don't have, your fans to pick you up when you're down, and kind of all you have is each other. There's a bonding that happens in those moments. I think our guys are trending in the right direction. I think we've figured some things out. Obviously, health is a huge part of that, but understanding who we are, how we play, how we make each other better. I think those are things that we've seen, and our job is just to reproduce that. It's not going to be perfect, but it's do it tomorrow, do it the next day, and then just continue to get better.
Maybe you start in Oklahoma City, what you saw makes them challenging?
They've got some really dynamic players, regardless of age. They have some guys that put your defense in really difficult positions. Obviously, being able to play a 5-out with Chet Holmgren, spacing his ability to shoot, and then they've got guys who attack based on that space. Obviously SGA is a heck of a player. There's just so many ways that they can attack you and find space, and they play unselfish, and they play for 48 minutes. There's been so many games that I've watched of theirs where they may get down, but they never stop playing. So you can't take them, you can't take a lead for granted. Like, you have to continue to play 48, and that's hard to do in the NBA.
You touched on Chet. In the first meeting, he finished with 7 blocks, but also 3 or 4 from the three-point line. What have you made of his transition into the NBA, and how does he challenge you guys on both ends?
Well, I think that's the thing, is like, one of the things that's been most impressive about a lot of these young guys now is they're two-way players, and they care about the defensive end of the floor. There was a time where all the accolades came from scoring. But these young guys, especially the young big guys, they care about both ends and want to be great defensively. So he has a high level of understanding of the game and anticipating where he needs to be based on what's going on with the defense. And then obviously, the offensive piece, his ability to make shots, just, again, spaces you out and gives everybody else more room.
With Jarrett back in the lineup now, is there going to be a defensive change on how you defend Chet Holmgren?
We'll see. I'll tell you that.
All right.
What kind of elements are you looking for on the road trip?
Just get better. I think starting to have all of our pieces together, you want to get those guys' reps together and find some consistency. You want to find different pairings and partnerships, and who plays the two-man game and all those things, how they protect each other defensively. New guys playing with both Jarrett and Evan in the paint defensively, like understanding what they can do on the perimeter, because those guys are back there. So it's just a bunch of small things that we need reps at and continue to improve.
I know it's a new thing, but do you look back at last year, and is there anything you can pick up on how last year's road trip around this time of year went?
Not really. I think this is a different group, but again, there is a camaraderie that happens on the road. So I think it's good for us to have this trip, relatively early in the season, so guys can bond, get to know one another a little bit better, spend some quality time together, build more trust, and then watch it translate to the court.
Non-Cavs question. I don't know if many people know this, but TJ did what he did last night against Michigan State. How cool was that? Just being his uncle?
It was awesome. I think it's, he's kind of a long, winding road through college, but to go into a place like Michigan State, playing a game that goes to overtime and be extremely impactful at, late in the game and in overtime, we're all proud of him and excited for him. And they play Kent State, I think, on Thursday. Yeah, so.
JB, there's no games today, but there's how important is it to you just at the NBA make sure that everybody has the ability to go to bed?
I think that's our opportunity to have a voice, and still those voices matter. We decide who is going to be the leadership, whether it's our city, locally, statewide, whatever it may be. and it's our responsibility to be a part of that. And I just think it's extremely important because leadership matters. And I think in an era of divisiveness, us trying to find people who are going to bring each other together is extremely important, and more important than anything else. Like, we can figure the issues out if we're together, but we're following people whose main objective is to divide us, and that makes it extremely difficult. So, finding more leadership who cares about people being together instead of my teams win versus your teams win is something that I'm hopeful we can find.
Did you
Thank you, guys.
Jerome,
Oh, no, he did not. I'm sorry. He was out too. Yeah. Thank you, guys.